Hello, by the end of today's lesson, you should be able to use the exponent rules to simplify expressions. So exponent rules are basically shortcuts to use and simplify expressions that have exponents in them. You can always write out longhand what those expressions are, but if you know these rules, they will make life easier for you. So I suggest taking extra time and memorizing these rules, okay? The key here, and I'm going to star this, and you need to star it in your notes, okay? So star, star, star. Bases must be the same. And I did write it like on the line just to give it some emphasis because that is so, so important. I like to use X just because it's easy, but if you prefer a different variable, go ahead and use a different variable. The first thing we're going to look at is when we multiply numbers, okay? So when you're multiplying, multiply bases. So meaning you have like x squared times x cubed. Okay. And what you're going to do is you're going to add the exponents. Okay. So this becomes x 2 plus 3, which is going to be x to the 5th. Now, if you wanted to, you could write this all out. You could say x times x. That goes with this one here. And you could multiply that by x times x times x. There's really no need for these parentheses. They're just there to show you that this is x to the 3rd and this is x squared. And then if we count them up, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, that's x to the 5th. For some students, writing it out like this is going to be just as quick as adding up the exponents because this one is pretty small. As you get bigger and more complex, these shortcuts are going to be huge, okay? The next thing I want to look at is what happens when you divide bases, okay? And I say bases just to emphasize the fact that these bases need to be exactly the same, okay? So let's take x to the 3rd divided by x squared. Your result is going to be x, and you take 3 minus 2, and you're going to get just x to the 1. Now you don't have to put the 1 there. So let's take a look at what this looks like if we were to write it out. So we have x to the 3rd, which is x times x times x, over x times x. Now you learned in 7th grade that this x and this x kind of cancel each other out. They divide to be 1, those divide to be 1. Oh, look, you're just left with 1x. Okay. Now what happens if you raise a power to a power, okay? So raise a power to a power, meaning an exponent on an exponent. All right, so a good example of this would be x squared, but then we're going to take that and we're going to cube it. So then this becomes, you're going to multiply it, so you get x 2 times 3, which is going to be x to the 6th. Now if you were to write this out, you would write this 3 times. So that's x squared times x squared times x squared. Now you can use these rules up here where you just add the exponents. So 2 plus 2 plus 2, oh, you get x to the 6th, right? Or if you want, we could break this down even further. So here's the 2 there, there's the 2 that match that, and there's the 2 that match that. And then we count them up, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 x's being multiplied together is x to the 6th. Okay, there's one more you just need to memorize here, and that's negative exponents. Okay, So let's say I have, let's do x to the negative third. Okay, so x to the negative third power is going to be 1 over x to the third power. And likewise, if you have a negative in the denominator, it would flip up to the numerator. So let's say you had 1 over x to the negative 2. This is going to come up to the numerator, so that's going to equal x squared. Now you can put it over 1, but you don't need that. It'll make life way, way easier. What I would like you to do is over on this side, right over here, go ahead and write out what to do in your own words for each one. And then down here, go ahead and give some more examples of you doing this. A great example would be one where maybe there's more than just one variable, okay? So if you're using x and y, maybe have x squared times x to the third y, and then maybe, go ahead and raise that all to the second power as well. Go ahead and pause the video, try to figure this out, and see if you can do it. I'm going to do this, but I might not work it out in the same way you did. As long as you came up with the same answer, it'll be okay. That's x to the 10th times y squared. Another way you could have done this Thank you.